Now, the part I don't understand here is it is in the Catholic Catechism, to my understanding. I'm Catholic myself. I don't claim to be a theologian, but it's my understanding that it's in the Catholic Catechism that it's okay to secure the borders of your country. Is it not?
Of course it is. And you have to understand the Pope was not making specific references about a particular policy of a political party or a particular policy of a particular politician or a country. He was not talking about the issue of securing borders or the issue of proper security for a country. He was basically making a spiritual point, which is what spiritual leaders do. And he was making the spiritual point that whenever we're building walls and we're blocking people out and we're blaming one whole group of people, whether they're Muslims or Mexicans or Catholics or Protestants, as the problem and trying to block them out, this is not the creative way forward. Instead, he used a very good analogy. He said we should be building bridges and learning how to understand one another and talk to one another.
So why does he phrase things like this, Father? Because I get your point. I understand it. And I think it does have a deeper spiritual meaning that makes us all think. But half the time when I listen to what the Pope says, it actually turns me off at first because I feel like he's making political statements about American politics and that he's swinging on the left side of things, which to me, my politics are based in my understanding of morality, my understanding of how God created us and what he has for us on this earth. So when a spiritual leader makes a comment about views that I think are immoral, I get confused.
That's fantastic that he upsets you because, in fact, somebody has said the gospel is never good news unless it's subversive. And unless the gospel is actually making us re-examine our prejudices, re-examine our worldview, re-examine the way we look at things, then it's not really doing its job. So a pope that actually challenges us and makes us look again is doing his job. As long as he does that for everybody, those who seem to be on the right or on the left, whatever political views they take, then that's part of the gospel, and it should be refreshing.
So you're saying he does that on purpose, then? He makes it sound like, in answer to a question about Trump, he makes a comment about those who only think of building walls aren't Christian. That's a pretty blatant point. There's going to be a lot of misinterpretation of that, purposely and otherwise.
On the other hand, there can be a lot of understanding of it for people who wish to understand, for those who wish to try to open their minds and understand what the Pope is saying. There can be that moment that when we're challenged in our views, we then have an aha moment and we say, oh, hey, actually, I've seen this from a new perspective and I understand something. The underlying message of the Pope, of course, is about the larger issue of immigration and saying, are we so intent on securing our borders that we're actually turning people away who might be the poor and the needy? What responsibility do we have to them? Those who are outside our country and those inside our country. And this is also something he's trying to get us to look at.
Right, which I think is a good topic. Like you said, it's a good topic to bring up because especially in our politics today, those of us who want to secure the border, who believe that securing the border is essential to the safety of our nation and the good of the people, we sometimes, I think, don't realize that we need to not forget about the poor and the needy around the world who are coming here not for their own riches, but for survival because they're oppressed.